Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the previous video, we explored the concept of vlookup and index match concepts. One of the two most essential tools, just not because for the cracking the Excel interviews, but also for any kind of solving everyday office tasks in ease actually. If you're having a huge amount of data sets and in Excel spreadsheets, you can use the vlookup in lookup functions and index match functions to ease out your business problems and finding out different key points, key parameters actually. Now, today, what we are going to do is today we are stepping into the next level. So today we are going to analyze the data sets on the basis of pivot tables. So pivot tables is a very essential when you are using large data sets or when you are analyzing data sets, finding out the patterns, finding out some summarizing the things, summarizing things on the basis of certain parameters like regions or sales data or something like units sold, something, etc. And also where you can compare the data sets within the same fields. Okay, so that's why where we use the pivot tables. So before going to the pivot tables, in this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to just divide the things as per the real world basis so that you get accustomed with what the things is going to come in the real world scenario. Also it will help you in the rounds where the questions will become on the basis of the business scenarios, right? So through the business scenario questions or some questions related to this table, what I am showing over here, uh, through this table, through these data sets, I want to give you a scenario where where you can be easy for any kind of guy who is going for an interview or someone who is new to this Excel, new to this pivot table. Okay, so through these questions, through the advanced level questions, I am going to give you the concept of the pivot table and how it works uh, on certain levels, on certain parameters, on certain fields. I'm going to uh, brief you on that also. So before diving into it, let me give you an overview of what pivot table is actually. So pivot table, what we are going to do is, and what pivot table allow us is to summarize the things, analyze the things, and to compare a huge chunk of data sets in a clean and structured, and also in a business ready format. Okay, actually. So suppose you are having asked to give a certain amount of sales data basis of these X criteria, Y criteria, these and that. So you have huge amount of conditions, criterias, and you need to give an exact figure of the sales amount. So using those pivot tables, you can just easily find out the data, and without using such kind of formulas or conditions, we just use drag and drop the values in certain fields. The Excel will do the rest of the things. So if you're trying to evaluate any kind of sales performance report, so I am having ChatGPT data sets from ChatGPT, actual data set from ChatGPT, which is providing the sales report of a company, having a date, region, salesperson, product, unit sold, and unit price, and sales data. So on the basis of this table, I am going to show you how the pivot table works. And if you're trying to evaluate the sales performance region wise, profits, or product wise trend, so pivot table will give you the things and deliver the things in seconds actually. Okay, in a moment. So by the so this is how the pivot table will proceed, and it will give you the data sets and give you the parameters as per your criteria. Okay, and at the end of this video, what you will going to learn is so you will be confident how to learn on pivot tables in Excel. And even if you're working on the older versions of Excel, each Excel version supports pivot tables, so no need to worry. uh, I am using the 2010 or 2000 something like an older version of Excel, so nothing to worry about it. So any kind of Excel versions is handy with the pivot tables. Okay, so let's get started and break down each the questions with the clear steps and logics so that you get accustomed with it and you can apply it in your data sets immediately. Okay, so let's start. First, if I go in the sheet actually. This is the sheet over here. What you are seeing. This is basically a data set taken from ChatGPT actually. So in real field, the data set will be much more complex, but it will be much more similar like this. You may get much better, much larger rows and columns. I have 500 rows over here. You may get around 10, 1,000, 10,000, whatever be it. The row and column maybe. So that's up to you. Now, what I'm going to show you is how this pivot table works in real field. Actually, this table there is a few columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 columns over here. Now, let me ask you how you can identify the regions with highest cells. Okay, so in simple terms, highest cells. So this is the total number of cells over here. And now if your manager asks you that what is the total number of highest number of cells in the region. Okay, where is the region column here over here? This is north, east, west, and south. So you need to find out the region which is having the highest cells. So how you are going to do it? Just by looking into this, you can't figure it out. Okay. So for this reason, what you want to do is select. You can select also. You no need to select also. You just go over here in the insert and just click on pivot table. Now pivot table although takes the through automatic default it identifies the table from its own actually. This is the one of the best things is it identifies the table from the Excel sheet and take the table and range. Okay, so they select the table and range. So if you don't want to uh, uh, do it from the Excel point of view, you can just go and manually select the table. Okay, you can manually select the table. Now the table has been selected over here. Okay. Now what you want to do? Do you want to uh, want the report in this page or in the new page? So I want to do in the new worksheet. Okay. So you can either or you can do this one. Okay. So I use a new worksheet. Okay. Let me go for okay. Now you see a new worksheet has been created. Okay. Now what the question I have asked is how to identify the regions with the highest sales. Now over here in this field list you can see over here there is the columns has been is being jotted over here, total sales and what I need to do over here is just drag and push the field list in this filters. Okay, so total sales, where to do in the total sales. Now if I give total sales in the values and the regions in the column or row, anywhere in the row if I give, so in row wise it will give you the values. Okay, if I do is in column, in column wise it will give you the values. Okay, click anywhere in the table, it will this field list will again generate. So keeping the regions in the row levels, what I am getting is in the row I have the east, north, south, and west. So these are the row levels, and in these row levels I having the total number of cells, total amount of cells. So through this and through now you can use the conditional formatting over here to identify. Now, now for this set, this is a very few small data set of having 500 rows. In your office or in your daily work or in your office work, you will having a much larger data set. So it is not necessary that you will give only this number of four data set, four row levels. Okay, that may be small or that may be large. So it is not a matter of fact that what data I am using. Okay, so understand the thing. Now in this sum, you need to find out that what is the highest number of cells. Okay, suppose we have huge number of cells. Now what you can do is use a conditional formatting, and you can use this one top 10 items, top 10%. You can use these kind of conditions on top of this. Okay, so now I'm using top 10. Okay, top 10, and since it is having less than 10 number of values, I will give the maximum number of the highest sales amount. Okay, that is one only. If I give one, and you can fill the cells with light green, light yellow, as per your choice. Now you see that 2096600 is that in the north. Okay, so north is having the highest number of cells. Okay, similarly, if you go for the what you can say unit sold. Okay, unit sold, let's keep in the unit sold. If you see over here, unit sold is also being displayed over here. Now highest is this one. Okay, so in south you are having the highest number of sales in the form of units sold, not in the form of total sales, in the form of units. The units having highest sold is in the south region, and for if you go for the total sales, it will be in the north. Okay. Okay. So another questions you may get is that how can you can show the sales trend over time? So if you have any date time stamp, okay, through that you can identify these kind of trends. Suppose we are having date or quarters or month or year, whatever be it, whatever the date stamp it is, you can go through. It means how the sales trend is varying over the month and varying over the quarters or varying over the years. Okay, yeah, for that kind of analysis also you can use the pivot tables. Now over here I am giving a small example. Though this date table, you can see if you see this date column, you see the maximum number of data is all in the January. That is only in the January data set actually for the month of January, January 2024. The whole data set is in. So although you will not get a good analysis over here because it is a chat GPT data, but for your analysis where you will do the things in your real life scenario, you will get a different kind of dates, you will get different type of quarters or different kind of months. Then you will see that similar kind of trends you can say in the sales or in the uh, count of units sold or whatever be the conditions that is being asked. Okay, now let me show you once. Now what I will do, I will drag this date into the row label. Okay, because in the left hand side you will get the date labels. And again, if you want to go the want to analyze the sales, keep it in the value section. Okay. Now what it is showing is that in 112024, I am having a total sale value of 221800. Similarly, for second, third, fourth, okay, the total number, irrespective of the region, it is giving me the total number of sales of the per day. Okay, for here it is per day. You will see over here from day 1 to day 31, that first. Every day sales is being given over here. So from here also you can bring out a pivot chart also. You can see the trend in which day or in which weekend or which particular week you are having the highest number of sales over here. So it is so in this way you can analyze the trend of the sales. Okay, so this is how the pivot table works. Now, if you want to go for a field in a different kind of fields, actually, if you want to add on some kind of field, suppose, let me change this one and uh, give the salesperson in the row level, and I will use this unit sold and unit price in the values. Okay, now, so this is the number of sales what this Ankit Divyan, the salesperson, has been doing. The salesperson has sold this amount of uh, no, this one is not. I have to give this one sales. Okay, so salesperson is being selling this much amount of sales. That is for Ankit. Ankit it is 1117700, and for Divya and Karan all over the sales value is this one. So this amount has been sold by the salespersons, and the items, the total number of sold items or the units you can see over in this field. Okay, now if for a moment you want to generate another calculation field, that is what you can say, what we see is the calculated field. Actually the term is calculated field. So for any calculated field, suppose you want to calculate the price per unit sold. Okay, so how you can get the price per unit sold? So it will be total sales by the unit sold. Okay, now if I bring out that data over here, and if I sum on, if I keep the sums, I will get the values over here. Now, what the thing I am going to show you is, if I want to produce another field, how can I do this one? If I want to produce another field, go to the pivot table, and over here you will have mm, formulas. Okay, so over here you will see that calculated field. Click on this calculated field and just provide the name of the calculate file, and you can write is mm, new field. I'm doing this new field, whatever you can write anything. And now over here the formula is over here. Now what the formula you want to do? What I'm going to do is I want to divide the total sales. I'm going to divide total sales. Okay, insert field total sales divide by the unit sold. Okay, done. So this is the price per unit. Okay, total sales by the total unit sold, and this is the price per unit. Okay, now if I'm going to add this one, okay, see over here. So this is the sum of the new field, means what it is doing is it is giving the sum of all the price per unit. Okay, this is the price per unit. It is calculating the price. That means what it is doing is it is just dividing these values, total sales divided by this one, and it is calculating the sum on the basis of the salesperson, right? Means if you don't use the if you don't use the pivot tables, you just imagine how much condition you have to use for this question. Okay, means it is just calculating this one, total sales divided by unit sold. Okay, so it is calculating the unit price actually. Okay, and unit price per salesperson irrespective of the product. I am not using the product over here. Now if your managers ask you, give me the yeah, unit price per salesperson, then this is the answer over here. This is the answer. This is how you can get. So this is how if you want to introduce another kind of field in the pivot table, this is how you can do. Okay, so this is another way you can analyze the things. Okay, so if you want to compare the product across the region also, that one also you can do. If you want to compare the products, okay, let me untick these things and I will show you another thing. If you want to compare the suppose how you can compare the two more products across the regions. Okay, so if you have region over here, and if I am putting in the rows and product in the columns, okay, and from how I am going to compare, I am going to compare on the basis of sales. So what I do, I have to do in the sales in the valuation. So what it is giving me is it is giving me the total amount of sales per product item. Okay, on the basis of regions. Suppose in the east, I am having a product of hat, jacket, jeans, shoes, socks, t-shirt, and I need to compare that which item is having the highest number of sales. Over here, the highest number of sales is on jacket. Similarly, for the north, you are having different. For south is also different, and for west is also different. Okay, you can filter the things over here also. What is in the column? Just select. You can select anything. Suppose you want to identify for only for socks or for jeans. Okay, okay. So it is giving me the values for only jeans and socks. Okay. Now let me give another filter for if you want to just want to compare the things for the east regions and for the west region only. Do it like this. Okay, so this is how the things become so handy over here in pivot table. Okay, you can just move around the things over here. It is nothing like you have to do it in this way. It is somehow like how the business scenario comes in the in your work, how the business scenario is being asked, how the things is needs to be executed, and what you need to analyze. Okay, it basically the thing is what the question is asking, and that way you need to bring out the things. Okay, apart from using different kind of formulas and making your mind dirty, you can use the things in this way, and it becomes very easy. You can change the things in your way. Okay, but you need to know that what this thing is actually means, what this number is saying actually. You just can't go and say this and that on. Okay, you need to find the things that, okay, what is this, is what 805000 is. It is the sum of the total sales for east and for jacket. You need to know this one. So you need to know what the business scenario is and what this number is saying. Okay, so in this way you can compare the things. So these are the things you can do. uh, there are many other things also. You can use another thing also. uh, Let me cover this part also. If this one is there now, I'm not going to compare over here. Let me uh, remove this one. Okay, so you have the total sales over here. Now let me give this product in the report in this report filter. Now what this report filter is doing, this is much more again again another kind of comparison techniques actually. Suppose you want to go for the total number of sales for north, for only for hat, only for hat. So you have this product item and it is giving you the total number of sales for every products. Just click on this and just click hat only. Okay, it will give the values for only hat only, because this is the total number of sales for hat. This grand value is also the total number of sales for hat only, for hat only. This is for east, this is for north and south and west. Okay, similarly if you want to go for anything like this one also is salesperson, a salesperson in the filter also. Now see over here what Ankit is selling, what is the amount of sales Ankit is doing. Okay, for hat only. This is what this is the amount of sales what Ankit is doing for hat. So simple. So it is giving you the values that 78,300 is the sale value for Ankit for the product of hat. Now if Ankit is selling another product, jacket, click on this jacket and click on OK. So 3,02,000, 5,000 is the value what Ankit is selling on jacket. So this way you can simplify the things. Okay, this way you can find easily, you can get the values. Similarly, if this is the total number of sales, now if you want to go to the total number of units sold, just keep this one over here. So for 129 units sold, total amount of value is 3,22,500. So Ankit has sold total number of 129 jackets and whose valuation is 3,22,500. Similarly, if you want to segregate it on the region wise, over here this is the region wise values. Okay, so in this way you can do this. Now, once this pivot table is being clear to you, let me move on to you in the some quick aggregate functions. Okay, along with some conditions. Okay, so suppose you have been asked to give a quick view of the total number of cells in the northern regions. Now if you are having this table over here, you're having this table. Now you have been asked that, okay, give me total analysis or total sum of the northern region based on hat or based on the salesperson, whatever be it. Okay, given a criteria has been given and you need to provide the total number of sales or the count, whatever be it. Now how you can do that? If you can do this by pivot table, it's okay. But if you're in a quick hurry, if you're in a meeting and now you are asked to provide this one, so how you can do? So if there is a quick aggregate function, you can use this sum if. Actually, this aggregation function with some conditions actually is comes handy when you are giving any criteria or giving any conditions for a sum. Okay, if you go for any sum, what the sum formula give you is that for any sales value or whatever be in the numerical value, if you want to sum the total things, you sum and you go for the total column value range. Okay, column range, and this array will give you the total number of sum. That is, this one is the total number of sum of this whole column. So but I don't need the value for the whole column actually. I need the value for certain criteria. That is, I need the sum for north only. Okay, what is the total number of cells for north? Now I need to select this region, comma, and what is the criteria? Criteria is in the north. And where is the sum region? What I need to sum is the total cells. Okay, enter. This is the total cells. You can do this by filter also. Give the range from which range you want to do. Okay, and what is the criteria? Criteria is in the north. Okay, and again, what is the sum range? Sum range is this one, total cell value. Okay, so it will give the values. Now if you have the different criteria, suppose if you have criteria like that, you need to find the sum for northern region and for the different salesperson. Suppose salesperson of Suresh. Okay, so you use sum ifs, and on sum ifs you give the sum range over here. So what is the sum range? This one is the sum range. Now what is the criteria range? Criteria range is the this one, and criteria is north, and the second criteria what I'm going to do, the range is this one, and what I am going to do is Suresh. Okay, let me see use the value or not. Okay, so it is giving me the value. That is what it is giving the value is, it is giving me the okay, I need to do this just for east. Let me do. Okay, so what is giving is, it is giving the value for the criteria that for the region of east, what Suresh is selling. Okay, so for if you have a single criterion, you can go for sum if, and if you are having a multiple criteria, you can go for sum ifs. Okay, you need to add s. Okay, so in this way you can also find the values in south and west also. So this is the one of the aggregate function using some conditions also. So this is a kind of thing you need to know for any kind of interview preparation, right? So that brings to the end of the video and session on advanced pivot table interview questions and some tailored real world business criteria and use cases. And yes, I think this is the things you need to know. Moreover, you have certain other things also. Try to learn some other conditions, aggregate functions, new concepts, so that the things become much more easier. Because the more you proceed, the things will be much more complex. We will get much larger data sets, and we need to solve the things in a quick session. So we have covered how to break down the performance of this sales report by region, and also have analyzed the trends over the time, over the date stamp, how you can how you can filter out and find the trend as per the date. Okay, so that I have also covered the calculated fields, how to introduce the calculated fields in the table. Okay, and also shown you how to compare the product performance. Okay, so all this has been done with the help of the pivot tables. Okay, I think that is helpful to you, and also the aggregate functions what I have shown in the last part also, that is also I think will give an edge of the performance of your Excel sheets. Okay, so until next time, stay tuned, stay sharp, and keep on exploring the details. Okay, thank you.